Hey everybody, Cinephile Mike, your friendly neighborhood cinephile, is here with day 82 of Award Season Review Season 2. We are starting to wrap up International Week, where we have been hopping all over the globe, taking a look at some incredible international features, and today's is no different. Today's is going to take us to several different locations throughout Africa. We are going to start in Senegal, head to Niger, then across the Sahara Desert into Libya, with the hopes of getting to the Mediterranean Sea and getting to Italy. I am talking about Pathé's Io Capitano, or roughly translated, Me Captain. Written by the team of the film's director Matteo Garrone, along with Massimo Guardioso, Massimo Ceccarini, and Andrea Tagliaferri, the film has an international and worldwide box office take thus far of $6,529,870, with no domestic box office numbers reported quite yet because the film just opened this weekend here in the States. So, this is one of the first films I've been able to review this season on its opening weekend because of when it was released. Now, the film is currently nominated for one Oscar, Best International Feature. It is Italy's official entry for this year. Now, it was also nominated for Best Motion Picture Non-English Language at this year's Golden Globe Awards, and it's also worth mentioning that at the Venice Film Festival, Io Capitano won 12 out of 13 awards that it was nominated for. Now, Io Capitano is the story of two cousins, Seydou and Musa, with big musical dreams. They want to be famous and make better lives for themselves and make money to support their families, but they realize that this cannot happen for them in Africa, in their home of Senegal. So they decide to leave, getting the blessings of the ancestors and a local priest, but not telling their families. These two young men, 16 years old, head off for Europe. And what will follow is a dangerous journey from when they buy their first fake passports and bribing the police in Niger to crossing the Sahara Desert on foot, where they will then be tortured, accosted, and arrested in Libya. And then at the peak of this, the two cousins get separated. Now, without spoiling too much more, what we will ultimately see is once the two are separated, the film will then focus on Seydou's journey to reunite with his cousin and finish his journey, despite being sold into a form of, not a form, being sold into slavery in Libya. That's a lot right there. And that's not even really spoiling the film. Now, what's going to keep Seydou from his freedom once he is able to leave Libya is to get to Italy via the Mediterranean Sea by a boat. Now, I will have a minor spoiler here. He will get away from Libya, but part of that is that he now has to pilot the boat carrying dozens of migrants across the Mediterranean Sea. And let me remind you, he is 16 years old. Will he be reunited with his cousin? Will he make it to Italy? This film is very much almost a suspense thriller that gives some very complicated feelings. It's clearly telling a story that needs to be told about the horrors of what people going through migrant journeys are going through when they're going from one country to another and trying for better lives and all of the challenges that they get to. However, this film sometimes relies a little too heavily on the misery where it bogs down. And while there are some moments of hope and dreams that Seydou has that are these fantastical sequences, they're a little too few and far between. And they really set up where you're not sure how this film is going to end, which is a good factor. But again, when you put someone through so much tragedy, there should be a little bit of hope. But again, that could be the realities of the situation where sometimes there isn't too much hope in this. Now, what I do want to say about the film on the strong side, the majority of this film is carried on the shoulders of first time actor Seydou Sar, and he does an incredible job. He filmed this when he was 18 or 19 years old and carried it with the heft of a professional, and this was not, you could tell, an easy shoot to be going through. He has some incredible moments that will truly pull at your heartstrings and create a protagonist that you just root for and root for and root for. He has a strong supporting performance by Mustafa Fall, who plays his cousin Musa. And additionally, despite all of the pain and the torment we see these two go through along with their migrant brothers and sisters, it's interesting. Kind of like I talked about with the zone of interest earlier this week, we have this tragedy going on that is shot so beautifully in environments that look gorgeous, even though there's such hardship in it. The cinematography by Paulo Carnera is absolutely stunning in the way he shoots the Mediterranean, even the Sahara Desert. You sometimes forget the film you're watching until they give you some of the images and you remember the kind of film that you were watching. I'm going to leave it there because this is one of those films where a lot of people probably have not seen it yet, depending on how this review goes. Because I said it just came out this weekend. A lot of the films I've reviewed this season had already been released, so a lot of people had seen them already. So I don't want to give too much on this one. So I'm just going to say this is a strong 4 out of 5 star film for me. It may, again, it lingers a bit sometimes too much on the tragedy, but that's what life is. And bravo to the filmmakers for being willing to put this portrait out there. Now, if you would like to see Il Capitano, as I said, it is currently playing in select theaters and some chains. It was officially released this weekend, though, so there is no streaming information at this time. All right. So there we have it. We have one more day to go of International Week. As always, if you like what you heard here, please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit that goal of 100 subscribers by the end of the season. The season is over in 2 weeks, and I got 25 more to go. So spread that word. You can follow me, Cinephile Mike, on all social media and Letterboxd. You can get all the cinematic goodness, my short reviews on who I think is going to win the Oscars in 2 weeks, and some fun new material that will be coming when the Oscars wraps. Just because the Oscars are going to be wrapping doesn't mean that I am. All right. I will see everyone tomorrow, but until then, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.